Background music and ambience brought to you in part by Midnight Syndicate. Music for the imagination and the perfect musical accompaniment for the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game.
A Fool's Quest, together with D20 The Curtain, Level Up Your Gaming, Hybrid Theory, and the DungeonMaster's Dojo have cooked up a spooky surprise. So sit back, relax, and listen as game designer and dungeon master Brad Uni brings you The Devil Went Down to Jersey.
We'll start with our GM. How about that?
There you go.
Did I just introduce myself? Or just, yeah.
Yeah, the game, the whatever you want to.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe a quick synopsis of the game.
All right. I'm Brad Uni. I own Carnivore Games, and this is the Unexplained RPG. We're going to be playing, and this is the game that we're playing is A Devil Went Down to Jersey, where the team of paranormal investigators go into the Pine Barrens to look for the Jersey Devil.
Okay. And how about Scott? We'll go, and then Bill.
I'm Scott from the DungeonMaster's Dojo, and I'm going to be playing Alexander J.F. Kinsley, an eccentric community college English professor who is part of the FPI Boston chapter of paranormal investigators.
All right, Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill Robitaille. I'm playing from the Dungeon Master Dojo. I'm playing Jack Benson, a no-nonsense sports goods manager who loves camping, doesn't believe in any of this paranormal stuff, but my little brother's involved and someone's got to keep an eye on him. And these people get lost in the woods all the time, so someone needs to keep an eye on them, and that'll be me.
And Jerome?
Hi, I'm Jerome Stevenson. I'm from D20 The Curtain. I am playing the police detective Roger Glover, who is 10 days from his 50th birthday, just like me, actually, and who is in charge of looking after these gentlemen as part of the FPI. He is trying to get to retirement and trying to stay alive.
All right, and then we'll go with Tony.
Hi, I'm Tony from A Fool's Quest. I'm playing Frank Dillard, a handyman and general jack of all trades, as well as a amateur paranormal investigator.
All right, and then Hootrat, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah.
Sorry.
No one ever knows how to pronounce it. No, it's okay. My name is Hugh Johansson from the Hybrid Theory podcast. I am playing Johnny Parkour, an impulsive German-Cuban American who mixes his pharmacy training and voodoo medicine background to aid others both medically and spiritually. He's extremely lucky, foolishly brave, and somehow always seems to be noticed when it's his on-screen time.
And where you're from?
I am from nowhere. No, I am from the Hybrid Theory podcast, and I'm also a writer of the Hybrid role-playing game.
All right, and I'll finish us out here. And I'm Aaron from the Level Up Your Gaming podcast. I am playing Scott Benson, the younger brother of Jack Benson, who Bill is playing. And I'm a geek, socially awkward, totally techno nerd, into UFOs, all that other good stuff. All right, guys.
Okay, so we're ready? I can get started.
Yep.
All right.
Ready here.
You know the game. You know what it's about. So you guys are all part of a group of paranormal investigators. And as such, that means you have, your group has a website and, a forum and stuff where people can, that you've helped, people that know about you can post, anything, you get various conversations going on about the paranormal and all of that. One such message gets posted on your site. It comes from a guy named Crypto Nerd 17, and the subject is New Jersey Devil sightings. And it says, I just read an article in the Woodland Gazette about a couple recent sightings of the JD. The article said that some hikers in the Pine Barrens saw a strange monster. They thought it was following them, so they laughed. This was only a couple weeks ago. Thought you'd want to know about it. Let us know if you go out there to investigate.
So I'm going to be the one who reads this email here. Guys, I think I got something. Kind of interesting here. Take a look at this.
All right, Alexander Kingsley, that's who I am, will walk over, stand uncomfortably close and behind the chair and lean forward and stare at the screen very awkwardly.
What do you got there?
Sighting the New Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil.
I read something on this once.
Yeah.
Did somebody say the devil? Let me see that. And Johnny Parkour does a cartwheel across the room, jumps over, leaps up onto a chair, and looks over both of your heads, staring at the screen, reads it really stupid fast, then does a flip up and says, this is crazy, let's go.
I think Johnny's in.
Not much longer than that. As you're discussing that, one of you, whichever one of you would be the one to have the phone contact information for people who need help with getting rid of a ghost or anything, your phone rings. And so I don't know who that would be.
That'd be me. I got business cards all over the place.
Okay, all right. Which character are you playing?
I'm playing Frank Dillard, a handyman and paranormal aficionado.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
So he says, so they call up and he says, hi, my name is Pete Trainer. You may have heard of me. I am the showrunner of Monster Hunters. I'm sure you know of that show. And you've probably all heard about it. It's a show that where they send paranormal groups into wherever to look for evidence of some creature, and it's usually if you've seen Ghost Hunters and Destination Truth and shows like that, it's that kind of thing. We saw we've been watching around and we saw the post on your website, your forum, and about the Jersey Devil.
It's funny you called. We were just discussing it.
We would like to fund and host your expedition if you're interested in doing that.
Can I put you on hold just one moment? Hey guys, it's no big deal, but Mr. Trainer from Monster Hunters is on the phone and would like to fund us to investigate that very post. So So yeah, right?
How much?
Mr. Trainer, what kind of, you said you'd be willing to fund the expedition to investigate that. What are we looking at numbers-wise?
Well, we will cover expenses, traveling and gear and all of that. Plus,
Food? Ask him about food. I have low blood sugar.
Well, he said expenses. Yeah, I'm going to put you on speaker and put him on speaker real quick. Yeah.
of course, food will be covered.
Yes, Professor Alexander Kingsley, PhD here. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'll pause and wait.
No. I'm sorry.
Is there going to be the expectation that this is staged like all the other episodes of your show? That's an appropriate question to ask, isn't it, everybody? That's all right. It's all right to ask that sort of thing. Nope, maybe not.
Oh, of course not. Oh, of course not. Everyone knows our show is not staged, and yeah, this will be completely professional, and we will leave the investigations to you. Unfortunately, we have allowed some groups that were not as professional as we would have liked, and
yes, I've seen your show.
But we've done our research on your team, and I think you guys will be a good fit.
I don't know. I saw that time they were looking at the Juju zombies, and those Juju zombies had Gap clothing on. I don't think so. You better not fool us, or I say the rates are triple.
Can we keep it if we capture it?
We won't take it away. That would be up to the the authorities, I would assume. But we won't take it away from you. We would leave. We're just there to film and watch and show it. And if you guys, you deal with the creature and you deal with any authorities that happen, you deal with what happens after the creature is captured.
And just as you guys are having this conversation about professionalism and what the expectations are, you hear from the back kitchen area, "Hey, man, there's no damn coffee in here. Where's the coffee creamer? Where's the coffee creamer? What the hell y'all doing on the phone? We don't have coffee creamer in this place? What y'all doing?"
That's not
Mr.
my department.
Trainer's called from Monster Hunters. Wants us to check out the Jersey Devil. Now, Raj, you're pretty outdoorsy. It's going to be the Pine Barrens. I'm not much of a camper, but between you and
I need a proper pair of
Jack,
shoes.
I mean, we should have it covered, right?
Yeah, I'll make sure you guys stay in the straight and narrow. No problems about getting lost again.
All right.
Roger sort of sits down and gruffs up.
So then it's a go.
Yeah, I suppose so. The big will you cover a proper pair of shoes for me though? Maybe that's the question. If I bring a receipt along.
Yes. Bring a receipt and we will cover it.
Jack.
Yes.
You'll have to find me a proper masculine pair of shoes, something outdoorsy.
Sure, one pair of shit kickers coming right up. Off to Sears to get a pair of Timberline shit kickers for him.
With a zipper on the side, preferably.
Yeah, there will be no zipper. Your mama never told you how to tie your shoes?
Oh, God.
Well, yes, but I have a pair of Florsheim shoes that I really enjoy the zipper on the side. I think it's much easier to slide in.
Leave those home.
I have flat feet. That's something you should probably take into consideration. Size
Dr. Scholl's
16.
Inner Souls got you covered.
There you go.
God,
And some
anyways.
Oreos on your way as well. I have low blood sugar. If I'm going to
Yeah,
be traipsing.
well, you're a big boy. Learn to carry your own snacks.
Oh, I do. Just in case.
No concierge service here, boy.
I don't know if we like this.
Welcome to camping.
I think I care for that either.
So when's this gig start?
It starts whenever you can be prepared for it. The sightings were a week old, according to that post. So the sooner you get on this, the better.
Well, I can leave right now. I don't have anything going on. I'll cancel my classes. I'll have text Dr. Donnelly and see if he can take those. Excellent.
Well, now that we get that all settled, everything I need is in the back of my Jeep.
I don't have any jobs the next few days.
I'm all good for this.
I have 720 hours of untaken PTO. Let's go.
It's like an entire month.
All right, I'll return home. I'll pack a bag. And
All right.
there's the echo again.
It's got to be your mic is still on your laptop.
I can fix it!
Okay. Now, the Pine Barrens is really, really big, just so you know. So trying to find, I think I read that it's like, something like 1.1 million acres. That seems really huge, but it is really huge. Yep, 1.1 million acres. So it might be a good idea to try to narrow down where you're going to look for this thing. You need to have a reference point. Now, according to the post, there was a newspaper article in the Woodland Gazette that interviewed two people that mentioned two people who saw this thing. You might be able to find out who those two people are and talk to them, or maybe the article would tell you roughly where in the Pine Barrens it happened. But
I get that publication.
okay.
I was going to look it up online.
Yeah.
Here's Scott Benson. I pull it up, and I'm going to pull the two names from the article.
Well, it's probably quicker than going through the box in my back seat.
And the two people are Harry Reid and Kara Caldwell.
Kara, you say?
Kara. Harry Reid and Kara Caldwell.
All right, and then I'm going to do the due diligence of going through their Facebook, their LinkedIn, getting all their personal contact info.
Okay. Well, doing that. If you want, you can actually. Why don't you make a research roll?
Okay.
Anyone who's going to try to find out information about them, anyone who's going to try to find out information about, you got the Jersey Devil, you got the Pine Barrens, you got various things you can look up. You got monster hunters.
Okay, so I made a research roll, and I got a superb.
Superb. Okay, so you got lots of info. All right, so what you've learned about these people is they are fully hooked up on all the social media. They tweet. They're on Instagram. They're everywhere. TikTok, you name it. And they also are into anything outdoorsy. So they go hiking, boating, mountain climbing, you name it. They do all that kind of stuff. One thing that they don't seem to do is talk about the paranormal or monsters or anything like that until there do some posts about the about their sighting.
Any pictures?
There were pictures of them in the Pine Barrens. It looks like they were not on a trail when they took the picture. Well, some of the pictures they took, they were hiking on a trail, and then some of the pictures they took, they were not on a trail.
Given their extensive social media presence, did they geotag any of their stuff?
They did not, but they did take one of the things. A few of the pictures that they took and posted were there was a cellar pit. So, and other remains of a house that had long since, fallen and rotted away. So all that was left is the basement, basically the basement pit, and some foundation rock and all that. It looks, from, no concrete, just like this was something that was old, that had been there a long time ago.
Is there a description of what they saw?
Yeah, they said they couldn't see too much detail, but it was kind of big for a person, but it was on two legs and it was black. It might have had wings, but it was getting dark, and they only saw it through the glow from their campfire. It really freaked them out, so they put out the fire and packed up and left. And they said that it had followed them for some time.
The original post on our site, didn't that say something about contact them if we were gonna check it out?
Yeah, it said let us know. So I think.
Oh, just maybe a post.
So probably just reply to the post.
Gotcha. I was hoping maybe they'd have information for us, but.
But you do have names.
We get the names, yeah.
Maybe we should go visit these young people.
Yeah, I've got their addresses right here.
Oh, beautiful. We'll pop in.
Yeah. You rolled a superb. You were able to find where they live.
They'll be excited to see us.
I know, I'm excited to see Kara.
I turn safe search off on the browser, and then I go look for pictures of Kara.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they are both young, 20-something, athletic, but both the guy and the girl, and they appear to be a couple. And they're both good looking.
So what you're saying is she's good looking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this looks like a job for the Volkswagen Vanagon, so I'm going to run off home and go fetch that, and then I'll come back and we can carpool.
Sounds good. I guess we're heading to Jersey.
Okay.
Are all of us and gear going to fit in your Volkswagen?
It's a Vanagon, Jack. A Vanagon.
That doesn't answer my question.
Does somebody have a walkie-talkie? I don't have a cell phone.
It's got a kitchen in
I've
it.
got one.
Oh, great. I'd take one of those, please. And then I'm good. And I start spinning my one of my sacks of D20s.
Glad you qualified that.
Yeah, well,
Roger,
There was an uncomfortable pause. I was just checking.
Roger's just drinking his coffee and shaking his head. He checks his revolver.
I'll return with the Vanagon. And there's that damn echo again. I'll figure it out by the time the 4-hour game is gone.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. So you've got your gear. Aside from, I can assume that you'll have, the standard, camping gear. You'll have flashlights. You'll have tents and sleeping bags and anything that, you're going to want to bring that would be normal for hiking and camping. Is there any special gear that you want to make sure that you bring?
Well, I'm bringing my compound bow.
Okay.
Set of field arrows, just in case. But I'm going to make sure they got those nice tri-tip, tungsten tip, hunting arrow, tips on them as well.
Definitely bringing my
anything that flies is real easy not to fly when you put a couple holes in its wings.
That's probably good. Yeah.
I mean, if we actually see this thing.
So about seeing it, what kind of cameras are you going to bring? Because I mean, they're the Monster Hunters people. They're bringing cameras, but they're bringing cameras for their show.
I mean, I'm definitely bringing my thermal imaging camera.
Okay, all right. That's that cool thing that shows all the blobs of color that you see on the shows.
Ratchet doesn't he's just because of the nature of him. He brings his service revolver. He's got his Bowie knife. Since Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack has his bow. He doesn't bring that.
I wear it all the time, 24/7. Even when I go to the 7-Eleven.
He's that guy.
Roger brings his badge. Like just he has no real concept of all he knows. He's supposed to look after them and make sure the things are held orderly. And then he's overly dressed for outdoors. I mean, he's got the full hat on.
Everything says Columbia and half the tags are still on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm bringing all the other stuff too. The EMF, the electromagnetic frequency meter, the handheld temperature sensors. I'm just loading it up in the van. It's gonna be a tight squeeze.
Awesome.
I am rolling my eyes.
All right, because playing Scott. Yeah.
For my camera, I'd like to bring a Polaroid camera with 2 cartridges of 10 pictures each.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring an Etch-a-Sketch.
I was debating it, but that might interfere with my 2 meter collapsible pole.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Never leave home without your 10-foot pole.
And then I'm also, one other thing is I'm bringing my field chemistry / pharmacology kit. It's kind of like, Sean Connery from Medicine Man. If that's okay. I didn't put those on there, but since you said we're loading up gear, I thought it would be appropriate considering my character's background and whatnot.
And the way I see it is anything that that a character with your means would be able to just either already own or buy, you can get.
I'll pull up in the Vanagon, and the Vanagon is it's got a mural on either side.
Oh.
One is me standing with Bigfoot, and the other one is me riding the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Alexander looks like a young Tom Baker.
Yeah. Who wants to ride shotgun in the Jeep? I don't know if I want to be seen in that.
I better ride. Oh, great.
Classic.
Well, I got my little brother Scott. I mean, I could always bring him.
I think I'll go with the Vanagon. As I start putting the gear in the Vanagon.
And I'll hand Roger some creamer.
He dumps the rest of his coffee in a large thermos and shakes it all up with the creamer. I'm good to go.
Real men don't use creamer.
He just pulls back his jacket.
Yeah, real men don't need guns either.
I'm not armed at all.
Oh, but you're armed with your intellect, Alex.
Yes. And I'll trip as I'm climbing into the van again.
Ta-da!
When you guys said it's a Jeep, is this like a Jeep with no top or like a Jeep Cherokee?
No, it's a CJ.
So it qualifies for the
Rag
Jeep
top.
wave.
Yeah, rag top. The mesh. Instead of doors, there's the mesh.
Oh, God.
Yep.
There's the shovel, the gas can, the water can, the farmer's jack, the tow hitch, the coil of rope and chain in the front.
Prominent roll bars.
And the insanely large tires.
Yeah.
Like you bought it from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and then I made it better.
And they tricked it out.
It's a Mutters Jeep.
Yeah. The grill's been replaced with stainless steel teeth. Giant set of just fangs and teeth. All black and zombie green trimming.
Nice.
Be green. Okay, so some of you squeeze into the Vanagon, and whoever doesn't fit jumps into the Jeep, and you head off on your journey to New Jersey. Trainer, Trainer's at this point, Trainer's assistant, whose name is Vicky. She's
Hey Roger, you're gonna have to ride in the Vanagon.
I Google her with safe search off.
Oh, I Google her as well.
She has that Velma kind of look, the glasses and the
Her hair's in a ponytail and she pulls it down and all of a sudden she's...
yeah,
Gotcha.
Sirius XM, search bot for teacher. Play.
So yeah, and so it's kind of hard to tell, but you can always hope. She just downplays it. She gets in touch with you, and she finds out what your plans are. That you're going to head down to, where the witnesses live. That area. They will meet you there. They recommend, why don't we meet up at such and such a diner, which is in the town that the two people live, and then you can regroup and then all go over there, because this interview would be part of the show, of course. So and then you can sign whatever papers need to be signed, and what the liability waivers, the things like that. So yeah, you head on down, hit the highway and head down there. Drive is uneventful, so you manage to get to the town, which is...
Can I interject something? I know you said that the drive was uneventful, and it was so uneventful that I got bored on the trip. And because I was so crunched up with all that gear in that frickin' Vanagon, I just got fed up. I rolled down the frickin' window and I flipped out to the top of the hood of the car, like on Teen Wolf, and I surfed all the way down the interstate.
Okay. Would you like to make an agility roll? To see how well you do that?
I would love to make an agility roll to see how I did that.
I couldn't just assume you succeeded.
I would do that great, but I also have the savoir-faire gift.
You have. Oh, okay. All right. So that means when you succeed with finesse, with flash. Like, however you did it, that was how you meant to do it. And so, yeah, all right. So you manage it, and you're surfing on somebody else's hood. So after about like 30 minutes of that, they turn off into one of those rest area places that have all the gas stations and the restaurants and all of that stuff. And they pull over and they get out and they're like, "What are you doing? Get off our car!"
Oh, this is crazy. This is good. Come with me. Let's ride.
At first, when you first jumped on there, they thought it was. Well, at first they were terrified, and then they started taking pictures and thinking it was pretty cool. But eventually they got, worried that you might fall. So yeah. So they're like, nope, we're not going anywhere until you're off the car.
I guess we'll have to pull in and collect our Johnny Parkour.
I flip off the car and I sulk and kind of slump back into my seat. Okay.
Okay. So that happens.
Roger's got a little notebook and he's been writing in it. The minute Johnny flips out of the car, he's been writing in it, and he just opens the book towards Johnny once he gets a hold of him and says, I need you to sign this. Just sign right here where it says not responsible for any injuries, scalds. I'm a state employee. I can't mess around. Go ahead and sign this for me, Johnny.
Hey. And he takes the pen, he twirls the pen in his finger 3 times, and he just writes a big fancy JP on there. And then he as he trails off the JP, he circles around the half-inch median all the way around the thing like 7 times. So it looks like it just almost to the point where the pen ink seeps through the paper. And then he hands it, says, "There you go."
As long as everybody saw it, I'm good. All right, let's go.
It's bad for their insurance,
Yeah, and as soon as Johnny gets off the car and gets talking to Roger, that car that he had been riding on, they just like, boom, they're gone. So yeah, so the ride is about as uneventful as Johnny is going to allow it to be, and so it's all relative. But eventually, you make it down to New Jersey, and you get to the place. Apparently, these people don't live too far from the Pine Barrens, so you're already mostly near where you want to be. You meet up with the team from Monster Hunters, and there are 5 people in all. You got Pete, who's in charge, and you have Vicky, who was coordinating with you guys, and then you have 3 cameramen: Joel, Harry, and Jeff. And basically that's it. So they're like, okay, so you wanted to Vicky tells me you wanted to interview the 2 hikers.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we will probably only need to bring 2 of the cameramen into their house to film this. We don't want to be too invasive. So we'll only bring 2 of the cameramen. And so yeah, all right. So so let's get going if you guys are ready.
I go out and grab the EMF, the tape recorder or the recorder that I've got, and like a temperature sensor as well. I put the cans over my head, and I like get ready to walk on in to start like pulling up some information on these people.
Did you remember the cappuccino machine?
There's a cappuccino machine?
We don't need a cappuccino machine for this.
I would love a cappuccino right now.
Who doesn't need a cappuccino machine?
It's a valid question.
Start walking on up.
All right, so you head over, and I assume you guys contacted these people to make sure that, or did you? Or are you just gonna cold call them?
I would just show up.
Just show up. Awesome, fantastic. All right, so your 2 vehicles, the Vanagon and the Jeep, pull up along with a big black van. That says Monster Hunters in big red, where the letters look like they were slashed by claws, and they pull up and people start, the cameramen start coming out of the van and start messing with gear, and this is like a small suburban ranch house, nice lawn,
Should I back the Jeep off the lawn then?
That's up to you. Use your discretion.
Nah.
Roger's going to make his way up to the door and sort of grab the professor with him as he goes, sort of isolating them out and getting to the door first with them so they sort of represent the face of the group.
Okay, so Roger and Alexander are representing the group at the moment.
Well, of course.
Okay. So Vicky is trying to rush up behind with one of the cameramen to make sure that this gets on film. Pete Trainer is just kind of walking behind, just sort of watching everything. He's telling the other 2 cameramen to get a good view of the house and to film the cars and your team, getting out, getting ready. One camera spends a lot of time on Scott with all his gear, and yeah, there's that. So Roger and Alexander show up at the door first. Vicky and cameraman. Vicky tries to stay kind of off to one side a bit, but she's there to make sure she goes in with the cameraman and all that. So what do you guys do? Roger, Alexander?
Go up and ring the doorbell.
I'll knock as he's doing that.
Awesome. The door opens a crack, and a man is you see a man looking out. It looks like one of the many pictures that Scott has shown you of Perry. So Perry, that was his name, right? Yes, Perry. So yeah, and he's there.
Door
Can I help you?
opens and he's yes, I'm Roger Glover. I'm a police detective at whatever city I'm from. I don't know what city I work in normally, but I work around a lot. I move. Anyway, the point being, we would like to speak with you just a moment. We got a tip about a paranormal activity from Crypto Nerd 17.
Okay.
With that name?
Well, I'm not familiar with that name, but probably about the newspaper article, the sighting that we had.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised the police are involved. Come in. And so he opens the door, and
we always like to make sure these things are above board. We don't like a lot of hoaxes and the police have an interest in ensuring the safety of our investigators here. This is the professor.
Alexander Kingsley. Perhaps you've heard of me? Want to tell your children about the afterlife? Yes? Have you read it?
No.
Well, it's been translated into Esperanto. You wouldn't happen to have any refreshments, do you? Have low blood sugar?
Yes, yeah, of course. And so he comes in, or he steps aside, lets you in, and so the two of you enter, and then Vicky and the cameraman follows you, and then Vicky, and then I assume the rest of you want to come in.
Oh yeah, no, I rush right in. I start scanning the doorway, and
Okay. All right.
Good job, Egon.
Where are your shoes?
Record these things for posterity.
Where are your hiking shoes? Excuse me? Your hiking shoes? Where are they?
The what?
Your hiking shoes? Where are they?
Right there. There's
I immediately just brush past him and I go right to the hiking shoes.
Okay. Yeah. There are two pair. One clearly men's, female. Men's, women's. Yeah, and lucky you, Kara happens to be there at the moment. You couldn't have planned it better. Well, you probably could have, but So yeah, there
We'd
you
like
are.
to know a little bit about your encounter at the Pine Barrens.
Okay. So Kara's like, oh, okay. Have a seat. Perry went to get refreshments because someone has low blood sugar, and he comes out presently with some drinks and probably something very healthy, some kind of very healthy snacks, some fruits, stuff like that.
Thank you, Harry.
And okay, and so then the two of them motion for you guys to sit, and then the cameraman just kind of goes off into a corner, and he's kind of getting a good position to be able to pan from each of you. Scott's over by the shoes. All right, yeah, all right. So ask away. What do you want to know?
Why don't you tell us what happened?
Oh, okay. So the two of us were hiking, and we've hiked the Pine Barrens a lot because we don't live. It's not that far away, but it's huge. We've tried all different areas, and we've never. It's a great place to hike. It really is. It's a great hike. It's huge, so it's easy enough to find trails that are not well frequented, and we like to go places where we could walk for miles and not see anyone, and the Pine Barrens are good for that. But we tried a different trail than we usually do, which is weird because it's not really all that far from us. It's one of the more popular trails, so we usually don't take it, but we decided, if we follow it for several miles and then go off trail, we might, find a good place to camp and spend the night out in the wilderness. So we figured that's what we would do. So that's what we did. And we set up, we came across this as we were hiking along, we came across the remains of an old house. The walls and the roof and all that were gone, but there was like a basement pit, some bits of foundation, and there was various other, like a rock with a year carved into it, which was it was like 1915. Yeah, it was neat. We took some pictures and all of that, and then we hiked a little ways farther into the woods, and we found this nice little hill where we could set up camp because there was a bit of a clearing on it. And so we set up camp, and we were going to spend the night. And then as night was falling, we started hearing sounds. And at first we thought it was animals, and maybe some of them were, but it really seemed like something was walking around, like circling the hill, and then taking like tentative steps up the hill, but but not far enough to be within the glow of our campfire. We shined a flashlight, but we could see little bits of movement, but we couldn't see much detail. And then we heard some noise on one side, so we went there, and we went to like the edge of our camp, to the edge of the light, and we were looking out there with our flashlight, and then Kara heard something, and she said, "Yeah, I heard something," and turned around, and there was, and something kind of ran across the our camp from one side to the other, right in front of the fire. And I swear to God, it was on two legs. It was like maybe like head and shoulders above, taller than Perry, and Perry looks like he's probably about 6 feet, and so head and shoulders taller than him, and it seemed like just a black shape, not furry or anything, but I thought there might have been wings on it, but if there were, they were kind of like folded up behind it, but I'm not positive that that's what I saw. But whatever it was, it really didn't look human, and to be honest, it scared the shit out of us. We've seen animals. We go camping, we go hiking out in the wilderness all the time. We've seen animals, and this was nothing like we've ever seen before. And the fact that it came up into our campsite really freaked us out. So we very quickly we smothered the fire, and we just grabbed our stuff and ran, and we just left. We have GPS, so we were able to find our way back to the trail and then head. And we thought we heard it following us for some time, but by the time we got closer to the trail, it stopped.
Stop. Sarah, if I may ask you a few questions, and I'll take a pad out of my jacket. Sarah? Tara. Sorry, my apologies, Tara. Were you experiencing menses at the time?
So Perry's like, hey, you don't ask questions like that.
Do you?
You do, because it's common knowledge that women who are menstruating attract Sasquatch.
Well, so
the pheromones are attracting to the male Sasquatch. You have to determine whether or not the Jersey Devil operates in the same fashion that the Sasquatch does.
This was no Sasquatch. It was not furry. Perry says that.
Professor likes to get deep into all the
Karen just got really quiet.
So if you'll forgive us, but we do have a couple of questions for you, Professor, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, of course.
About how far a walk from your home did you exit the trail, and then how far off in terms of time did you walk outside of the trail before you camped?
We walked for about 2.5 hours off the trail, and we went for for a couple hours on the trail before we went off. Like I say, the pine barrens are big, and we wanted to make sure we were far enough off the trail that we were definitely, in the wilderness where we won't run into other people. The beginning of the trail is, like I say, it's a common trail that people use to go hiking. So it's got one of those big dirt parking lots. It's got, it has like a tourist store, and with some hiking supplies and some Jersey Devil paraphernalia and stuff. So our Jeep was parked there. And so once we got back, we just hopped in our Jeep and drove away.
You said you used the GPS to find your way out. Did you happen to? Does that device store a history of your locations or anything like that?
Well, we did mark the location where we camped, and we marked the location where the old house was.
Excellent.
And we marked the location where we left the road, where we left the path, the trail. We didn't bother marking. We didn't bother keeping track of, our entire route. But those key points we did. If you want, I can get those for you.
Oh, that'd be helpful for us. That'd be helpful.
All right. So he goes and gets them, and he gives you a paper with them all written down. And
while they're gone away, Roger just leans into the professors and say, people can be a little weird about answering questions about their menstruation cycle. You might want to ease into a thing like that.
Perhaps I should offer Sarah an apology.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I'll do that.
That's why you're the professor, man.
Yeah, and about the boots, you don't find really anything too special.
Yeah, I was going to be grabbing like anything that maybe they'd taken off the trail with them, trying to pull any samples, dirt.
Yeah. There's dirt in the treads and stuff.
And then kind of with who I am, I continue to scan through things. I will scan them while they're answering questions.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if they're wearing any gear that's putting off a lot of EMF, it would have to be an awful lot of EMF. But a good amount of EMF can cause hallucinations.
That's right.
A lot of ghost hunts have ended with finding like the fuse box like really poorly wired and with tons of EMS, and you only see the ghost in this area. It's so but chances are a Fitbit probably isn't going to do that. But you scan anyway because it's worth it.
If you got the equipment, might as well use it.
Exactly. Because otherwise you look stupid just standing there.
Yeah, that's what makes them look stupid. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Hey, listen, it's great footage for Monster Hunters. So
That's right.
Speaking of, the three of us are outside. I'm leaning against the front of the Jeep, sharpening my bowie, and asking the other two cameramen, so come on, tell me the truth. Have you ever really seen anything? Ghost, Bigfoot, I mean, come on, UFOs, really?
You would be surprised, said
You're right, I would be.
The other one's just kind of like rolling his eyes, like, and not saying much, but one of them seems kind of, like he's enjoying the job a lot. And the other guy just seems like, it's a job. It's he's just kind of rolling his eyes and not saying much, but they're both filming you. So,
that's okay. I really don't care about the filming. I just UFOs. I mean, have you done UFOs? I mean, has it turned out to be like a weather balloon? You know, just
we've done a couple, but we haven't really seen anything for that. But you know, I was on this one where I swear I saw Bigfoot, and we got it on film, and you know, I tell you, it was real. I saw it, but you know,
but it didn't show up on the film.
It was on the film, but you know, when you get something, I'm sure you guys are aware that when you get something on film and you put it out there in the public, there's always going to be those trolls who say, "Oh, it was photoshopped."
Yeah, I hate those skeptics. Oh, they're the worst.
Yeah. So you know, but I was there and I saw it. So
now, are you one of those ones that goes out in the woods with a baseball bat, like, you know, hitting telephone poles and stuff, and whooping and stuff, seeing if they answer you back and stuff?
I don't. I'm not a paranormal investigator like you guys.
Here's the camera guy.
I'm the camera guy. I'm for the show. We're supposed to leave that.
Just checking. No, I was just wondering. I'm inquiring minds want to know.
But I have worked with groups that have done that.
I'm sorry.
So,
how long do you think they're going to be in there?
I don't know.
A little longer, maybe. All right, tell me about what's her name, Vicky. Yeah.
Well, Vicky's inside.
Yeah, I know. No, tell me about her. She attached or something like that?
No, I don't know.
Oh, really?
No, she's
didn't notice a ring. I was just saying. I just happened to look at her left hand and didn't notice a ring. I was just curious. It's just.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Oh.
Just, you know, she doesn't talk much about her private life.
Oh, it's probably good. Probably good. Yeah. Just wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to keep one eye on Johnny because by now he's doing something wrong. Not that I'm going to stop him. I just want to know what he's doing. As long as he doesn't mess with my Jeep, I don't.
Okay.
We're at the hour mark.
Yeah. So are there any more questions for this couple?
I mean, I won't have any more questions, but I will sort of indicate to them, do you mind if I have a look around while the professor and the rest of these gentlemen talk with you?
A look around?
Yeah, it's just always nice to sort of rule out all the skeptics beforehand. We know that you had nothing to hide, that you got nothing curious, so that we can put you in the clear, and that makes the story all that more impactful.
There is a skill called Persuade. Why don't you try that?
Okay. Let's do the same.
Because you're asking to walk unwatched around his house.
Okay, so that is, let's see, persuade. Give me 1 second. Start a porn, and I'm gonna go up 4. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Because you're dressed kind of official. You showed your badge earlier.
Badge, yeah.
So, all right. Okay. He seems not happy about that, and curious, and like thinking that sounds kind of sketchy, but at the same time, he doesn't want to say no to a cop. So, okay. And he just kind of watches where you go.
I'm just sort of looking for, mostly because it's going to go with the question I'll ask Scott later, mostly looking for any reason why they might be overly posting about stuff like this, trying to build a reputation, anything that looks out of the ordinary, anything that caused them into suspicion.
Okay. So what you don't see, and you're just kind of making a cursory look around, or so
not going through closets or anything, but just sort of looking.
Right.
Top a desk.
not something that would require a roll. You're just kind of noticing things. So yeah, what you don't see, what you do see is lots of pictures hung up everywhere about all the outdoorsy places they've been. What you don't see are pictures of Bigfoot or articles about them or anything like that. They don't. You don't see anything regarding the paranormal at all.
Gotcha.
So
they stumbled into a thing. They don't pursue this stuff on a regular basis. At least what it looks like, kind of.
Right. And they didn't say it was the Jersey Devil. The article, the newspaper article, kind of made that leap for them because it's a New Jersey newspaper, local, and that's a thing down there. So
Gotcha.
So yeah, they just said what they saw.
He's real respectful. He doesn't stick his head in places that's going to make them alert them. It's just sort of a normal police check.
Right. So are there any more questions for this couple?
I'll offer an apology.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Vera, if you will, please accept my humblest of apologies for my intrusive question.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It's
You're
like the
very
first
welcome.
thing she said since you asked that question. So
I understand biology can be a bit uncomfortable for some people to discuss, even if it is in the interest of research. Do you happen to have any potato chips?
she gets you some.
Thank you.
Yeah. And okay, is anything else?
I have a clarification real quick. So from my understanding, 2 camera folk went in and there was 1 camera folk left out by the vehicles. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the first question I have is, are the camera folk wearing red shirts?
That's a really good question. One of them is the one that is
the
outside talking to the guy with the Bowie knife.
There's a goner.
Okay. He is the person that I will spend my entire time with while they are inside chatting. And I am doing about nothing but talking about my Aunt Oma and how she used to cast rituals by the campfire while she was cooking our gumbo.
Okay.
And that's all I do the entire time. All I talk about is gumbo recipes.
Okay, gumbo recipes. All right. He says he's never had gumbo before. But
are you crazy? You never had gumbo? You've never been down south? What's wrong with you? I suppose you never eat soup.
I've had soup.
What? You never had gumbo? Oh. What? You live under? It's crazy.
And
I just start going off a litany of all the things you can put shrimp and alligator and possum and undulate sausage, and you've got to put the tomatoes. You can't put those little tomatoes that are little. You got to put the big juicy tomatoes in that sauce, and then you got to have the meat. Don't put any beans in that gumbo. No, you put meat in that gumbo, and then you cook it on the fire for 3 days. 2 days is not long enough. 3 days, and I just go off on my grandma or my Aunt Oma's gumbo recipe.
okay. All
At the
right.
same time, I'm asking him questions about when's the last time you filled a ghost? So I'm on the other side.
Yeah, well, we that's a different show, Ghost Hunters. We're not affiliated with them.
You don't consider ghost monsters?
No, that the show doesn't. Me, I'd love to film a ghost, but that's not what this show is about.
Have you been to Scotland?
Once?
Business or pleasure?
Pleasure.
Oh.
As I'm walking around the house, I would imagine I'm at some point hearing snatches of Johnny Parkour screaming about gumbo And
You
so
probably do.
probably as I get to the end of my search, I go, well, unless there's anything else, I think we need to get going, need to get moving. I'm making the weird eyes towards outdoors.
Okay. So yeah, and so are you guys done with this or?
Yeah, I head out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait for Roger to drag me out. I'm not good with social cues.
Social cues like let's get going.
Yeah.
He's eating the chips. If you don't mind, we'll go ahead and take these. We'll reimburse you. The police department will reimburse you for the chip. And I'm just gonna roll the bag up and get the professor by the side of the arm. All right, we're gonna take off again. It's lovely talking with you all. Have a great day. Hope you don't run into any monsters in the meantime. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, folks. You better help. They probably got papers. I'm just going to gesture vaguely at the film crew and head out the door. Probably papers to sign.
All right. So you all leave. You know, and he does give before you leave, he does give you a brochure thing that tells you how to get to the beginning of the trail, the park area where you would start going up that trail. You know, that's the kind of the last bit of information that you would get.
Is it sort of a map?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a map. It's basically a big, green big forest, and then there are a few trails, numbered trails. And this one has a couple trails. He circled the one that they took.
And as we're moving and taking that from them, and I'm gonna try to get a hold of the professor and get behind Scott.
Yeah.
And just as we're getting clear of earshot, I'm gonna say, "Hey Sherman, look up on your computer and find out if these people post a lot of stuff about the paranormal. Will you?" See you later. It's good talking with you. And then he's exits the door.
They don't. I just walk away.
The story continues October 10th with Level Up Your Gaming. See the show notes for details, and thank you for tuning in to The Devil Went Down to Jersey.